Well, we're going to talk about the 4-year-olds now. I'm going to start with Allure. Just trying to find a good spot for her. She wasn't getting in this week, so we went down to Miami Valley. I think of the 7 we entered, I believe 6 are going to get in, maybe 5. I'm not sure yet. The draw's not done. So I'm going to be going to Miami Valley on Wednesday. I thought I'd take Allure down. You know, she raced great at Mohawk. This time of year, with the track surfaces the way they are, every horse is a little bit different. You have to ask yourself, you know, she raced all last year. She didn't race a ton, but does she need a little bit of a break? I think there's still lots more good in this filly for us and this mare moving forward. She's shown enough that she's going to be a useful type horse. Where is the best spot for her? I don't know yet, but we're all going to find out soon enough. We're going to try Miami Valley on Wednesday. Arrowhead, Hanover. You know, I had a lot of people message me last week after the race say, you know, maybe that wasn't the best move with Arrowhead. I could see what Tony Morgan was doing, and I'm not going to question Tony Morgan. He's won 7 million races. I'm certainly not going to question his drive. Obviously, as it turned out, I guess in hindsight, I bet you he probably wishes he had to run that back. So Arrowhead, Hanover, down in the class he belongs, but drew the outside this week. Favorite from the outside, so we'll see how he does. Bridge Over Broadway has been just really, really good for us. Definitely since the start of the year, but really since we got her. She's just been one of those horses that on paper looked like a soft maybe, and you know, we get her all the way over here and start racing her, and she's a hard yes. She's just a good filly. Where she ends up after this, I'm not sure. Like after this, I mean after she gets to her 7 wins. I mean, in reality, to me, there's no reason why she can't go from Northfield to Miami Valley to even Mohawk potentially. She's got a lot of speed and a lot to offer, and I'd be interested to see what a sharp, you know, durable mare like her could do at Mohawk. Now, there's a kicker. There has to be a class for her, right? I'm not sending her over there to race against Colton Geldings and racing in the backup class because it didn't fail. And you know, if we could find a fillies and mares trot in the middle of the conditions with a tag on it that we could find her way into, I think that would be beneficial for everybody. But that's neither here nor there. That's down the road. Captain Incredible will race this week at Dover Downs. I'm anticipating him and Rock Shining Star getting in. I haven't seen them yet, but yeah, you know, if you watch the opening, you know, I'm a little run down today, to be honest. I even thought about maybe not doing the videos, but I just didn't seem right. You know, we do them every week. I just had to rest up. I thought I would come out to the car 9 o'clock. Amy and I would shovel everything out. You know, my kids would shovel the driveway. Then we would just go over to Starbucks, get a drink, and do our videos. Instead of just doing the opening, we do them all instead. Amy and I have been sick all day, violently ill all evening. It's just a bug that tore right through me last night when I got home from the races. I felt fine. I was going to watch a movie with Amy last night, and I said, you know, I'm not feeling the greatest. I'm going to bed. Oh, no, you're not. 5 pounds I lost from 11:30 till... and you might say, well, how do you know? Do you weigh yourself? Of course I weigh myself all the time. Got home before I go to bed. When I wake up, it's just the way it is. I want to keep an eye on everything, and quite the shock this morning. But I'm feeling better now. I'll be fine for Monday. I just want to get through your videos and make sure I don't miss anything if at all possible. So Captain Incredible will be in this week. Chicago Hall obviously canceled Sunday. I thought he was in a great spot. He drew the 2 hole. He's in a good spot again for Aaron on Wednesday. Foxy Seaside, she come back from the field and had a sinus infection. It's really been a problem the last 10 days. We had to scope it and flush it and drain it. You don't usually see stuff like that, you know, and this is why I never really made a big deal about it last week. They said, we had to flush Foxy's guttural pouches and she had a little sinus infection. All right, no big deal. It is a big deal. It's been a real problematic deal the last 4 or 5 days, and thanks so much to Lake Equine for coming back, and Dr. Katie and Dr. Mike for coming back and taking care of her, because you guys can't see it. But over a foot of snow fell last night. Over a foot of snow. Well, here. I ran the car. Oh my God, Anthony, you car off. No, I didn't. I just turned it on and it melted, and then I put the windshield wipers on. That's the extent of me cleaning the car off today. But over a foot of snow has fallen in Brunswick, Ohio since midnight last night. So Foxy Seaside, she's on the rebound, I hope. They said she was better today. Jason has been giving me updates. said she was better today. They've been trading her. So thanks again to Lake Equine and Jason for going the extra mile for the filly. You know, you can easily say, well, you know, got to do what you got to do. It's a whole other thing when you got to tramps out into a snowstorm to go and check on a horse. That's going the extra mile. Go Boom is in to go Monday. We'll see how he races. I have no idea what's going to take place here. I'm looking for a good report. Listen, there's a fast horse in there. I was not happy with the way he raced in Miami Valley. I wasn't enthused with the way he trained down, but it's in there. And I know what the problem is. His front feet kill him. So where are we going to go with Go Boom? Everything will depend. Everything will change start to start. So if he races terrible on Monday, I might just take him right back to Ohio, get him looked at, see what Dr. Brown thinks. He's got a few more diagnostic tools in his shed, so to speak. So he'll have him look at him. And listen, we're going to race him where we can race him. Whether that be, you know, if we get him ready because we're comfortable racing him in Oak Grove, then that's what we're going to do. But I wouldn't be too, obviously it's easy for me to say, don't be too concerned about tomorrow. Of course it's concerning if the horse doesn't go out and race well. But I believe with this horse, it's going to be a process. And I'm not comfortable with where he is right now. I would like to see him in a better spot. But I was and still am open to the idea of him working his way through it. And that's why he's at Mohawk. Gorgeous Package. We're going to give her 3 weeks off. She's been out a week now. We'll bring her back in 2.5 weeks or so. Bring her back up to the farm. Memento Mori raced great the other day. The track was just terrible. I don't even know if I posted the video. She couldn't even see out of the glasses. Like, I couldn't see going up to the gate. It was terrible. Mortlock is in to go Tuesday. I think he'll be a little bit better, but he will be short. He popped a quarter crack and tied up down in Miami Valley. So we'll see how he races on Tuesday, but he's definitely going to be short. Nassau is in the sale on Monday with Pretty Eyes and Lies. You know, at the end of the day, we're going to buy horses like Bridge Over Broadway that we pay very little for, that do very good. The other side of that coin is we are going to buy horses for more money than we'd like sometimes. When it comes to Nassau, I just thought off the lines we bought him for that he would be an instant lock and do some good at Northfield Park, and it just did not turn out that way. So he's back on in the open market, and I'm not going to give him away. I see he's at $4,000. He's going to have to bring $9,000 or $10,000 tomorrow for me to let him go. But you know, a horse that's racing every week that shows the miles he does, there's no reason why he shouldn't bring that kind of money tomorrow. Sparkling Volo is training in Ontario. Jason, I haven't talked to Jason in the last couple of days, but he said they've been training well. He was really happy with Sparkling Volo and tremendously happy actually with Tomboy Strong. So we'll see. Not a lot of work, you know, and this is the reason I decided to make these videos today. There's not a lot of work to talk about, right? The opening's going to be thin, right? The racehorse one that you're getting now is probably going to be the longest one. The 2-year-olds, I can talk about what OCDs we had removed on horses, but they didn't do anything Saturday. The last training trip they went was Wednesday, and you saw a lot of that and heard me talk about it. So, Sparkling Volo, good. Tally the Tab lost a shoe in that snowstorm the other night and was slipping a little bit. I'm going to try her at Miami Valley again, and the reason being because I'm going to Miami Valley with Tally the Tab this week. She wasn't getting in Wednesday. Now she is. Woodmere Betcha will also be in Wednesday. She'll be short. You know, we're going to have to do the best we can and make do this week with the frigid temperatures and the track conditions. It's just impossible to train the horses up tight. And then you talk about Woodmere Betcha, who tied up the other day. You know, it's very hard to have a horse get over that tie up and then train them in such. Saturday would have been the day to train her, right? Could have trained her on Saturday. It was -6 trillion out. Couldn't have trained her on Saturday. The chance of her tying up again would have been high. So we just did not want to risk it. We didn't do it. And we'll race her a little bit short, which I hate doing, but that's what we're going to have to do this week on Wednesday. Drebin is coming in off a fantastic mile in the Open. I could have raced him in the Open at Miami Valley. I was talking to the race secretary, and he said the Open's not actually going to go. So the Open at Northfield on Sunday might be a little stiffer this week than it normally is. We'll see if there's any spillover there. Tenacious Hanover raced better the other day, but still, you know, and I say this to people, and it's hard to quantify it, but when you get a horse that has been sore for so long and then you finally get him sound, they're protective, right? And I don't blame them. So he isn't as good as he's been right now, but I felt he was better the other day than he was the 2 previous starts. Let's see if we can work him through it, right? Because there is and was a good horse in there. Speaking of good horses, Time Is On My Side was outstanding. You have no idea. I'd said it in one of the videos I made you as 3 short videos of Time racing and going back to the winter circle, coming out of the winter circle, and I said, not since I used to race at Woodbine by the airport in Toronto, do I remember cold like this. This was vicious, frigid cold the other day. The mile he went was unbelievable. 50-4 out of the 6 hole. The horse raced great, but we know he can do it. He's just, man, he was good the other day. So very happy for him, for Sophia and Tim, although Soph wasn't there. But Thursday, 8,500 on Friday. Oh, Agent Black's not getting in down in Miami Valley, and I messaged him and said, hey, a little spillover for Thursday. He's just telling me what he fits. So Sophia, I don't blame her. It was cold as a bugger the other day. Winter Soldier hopefully gets in at Miami Valley also. The race secretary, Jason, wasn't clear about how many were getting in. He just said he thought they were getting in. He didn't expand on that comment. Agent Black, I just said, is going to race at the Meadows next week. Salzbrook even is leaving us. Finished 3rd the other day. I don't blame them. He's coming out of PEI racing really well and raced so, very sporadic, decent trips. And I don't blame him a bit for moving the horse. I would have done the same thing also. I thought he was coming around, but at the same time, coming around for the bottom class up. I wish we had a couple more starts with him, but I don't blame them for moving him. He's going over to Mohawk where they think he races better, and he probably will. Save America is jogging full-time now. I saw him jog the other day, 3 miles. He looked good. Every day is a new day, and every day is just me keeping an eye on him. Either I go with him or I watch him go. But really happy with what I saw from Save America this week. Spitfire Overseas, again, can't train him. Heading into his next start. He raced terrible last week from the outside post. We'll see if we can get a better mile out of Spitfire Overseas this week. HB Liz Shadow raced good, but the darndest thing, I couldn't get him pulled up after. He went a lap and a half on a 5/8 mile track, and he had my arms stretched 9 feet long, it felt like. They were absolute jello by the time I got him pulled up. I have no idea what the hell got into him. I don't think I've ever seen a horse do that, not for a long time. After the race, you might see a horse want to, blast past, and, you might get him pulled up down in the far turn on a half or a 5/8. But I have never in my life, now I'm sure I did, but I can't remember ever seeing a horse go a full lap and a half after the race the way that he did. I don't know what got into him, but he raced good, 53-3, but maybe I'll pull him first over next time if he's got such deep lungs, because he certainly was a tough cookie to get pulled up. Looks like money we're going to pick up this week from Kentucky. Him and Perfect Thought are coming back. Jailbird Jog is coming back in Ontario. I don't know if we can get the Coggins done quick enough to get Jailbird. Actually, it doesn't matter. Jailbird Jug gets the next truck over. She's coming out of the field this week also. Where are we at here? Looks like money. Neptune will be ready to go soon. He trained a mile and a half the other day. Another horse that should have trained Saturday. We just couldn't train them. So we'll train him up probably in the race bike on Wednesday and get him in to qualify soon. Rock Shining Star will be in Dover this week. Mr. Munson trained him, said he liked him. That's great. I want to see him race. 3 Point Blue Chip. He's just beat up right now. I told you 2 weeks ago if I move him first over, he wins. Well, I did move him first over into a horse that wanted to get beat the other night, and he didn't race as good. We're just going to have to protect him. I'm just going to have to stay left for a while. He's a funny horse. He's a shadow of the horse he was, but still very much belongs in that class. You just have to drive him accordingly. Trosa was absolutely awesome the other day. 3rd and 52. Got to put a Murphy on the inside of him. He's just running in the last turn a little bit, but he was absolutely awesome. Yo Mister was great in Miami Valley. Very happy with what I saw. He lost a shoe leaving too, a front shoe leaving. He'll be back in Miami Valley this week. Up a little high still, but still, he raced great the other day. And that'll do it. That'll do it for the racehorses. You guys got 14 minutes of racehorses. I never thought that would happen. I'll be back in a minute with your 3-year-olds. Then I'm going to do your 2-year-olds talk about the OCDs. I'm going to give it some thought. I'm going to give you a quick opening video this week. Not a lot of racing to talk about. And Amy is sick, and I'm just starting to feel better now. We'll see. We'll see how the rest of the videos go. Take care.